Hello and welcome to our podcast. Thank you for joining us today. In this episode, we are going to talk about a growing challenges in many companies. The high turnover rate among Generation Z employees, especially at Grid Energy Ltd. This issue is not just about numbers, it's about understanding the needs and expectations of a new generation of workers. Generation Z is changing how we think about work, and companies that don't adapt may struggle to keep their talent. My name is Jawan, and I'm joined my fellow junior consultant Gahui, Xing and Eldon. Over the past few weeks, we have studied this issue in depth, and today we will share our findings, talk about what's going wrong, and suggest some change that companies can make to keep their young employees engaged and committed. So let's dive into what really driving Generation Z always and how we can change that.
Let's start by looking at some key findings from a recent article published by Fortune.com, which talks about why Generation Z workers are leaving Great Energy Limited. The article highlights three major reasons. First, the company's work schedule are too rigid. Generation Z workers want flexibility. They want to have some control over how, when, and where they work. A traditional 9 to 5 office job doesn't appeal to many of them anymore. Second, there's a lack of career advancement. Young employees today don't want to stay stuck in the same position for years without growth. They want clear paths through promotion and development. And third, there's a generation sense of workplace dissatisfaction. This could be due to outdated policy, poor communication, or a lack of support from leadership. All these issues make it difficult for Generation Z workers to feel connected to the company, and many decide it's better to leave than to stay in an environment that doesn't support them.
To build on what Gahui said, we also look into what Generation Z actually wants in the workplace. There is a big shift happening. This generation values work-life balance more than ever. They don't want to spend all their time working. They want to have time for family, hobbies, and personal growth. That is why hybrid or remote work options are so attractive to them. Career development is another huge factor. Generation Z employees want to feel like they are growing. They are looking for clear opportunities for promotion, training, and mentorship. If they don't see any change to advance, they won't stay alone. Another important thing is company culture. Generation Z wants to work in places that feel inclusive, transparent, and collaborative. They value mental health support and open communication. If the company doesn't create a positive culture, they will lose talent young people quickly.
So what are the companies that are doing it right? We study a few big names that have been successful in keeping their Generation Z employees. For example, Google and Microsoft have strong mentorship program and give employees a lot of flexibility in how they work. This helps build trust and support. Airbnb and Netflix put a strong focus on employee well-being. They provide mental health resources, wellness program, and flexible time off policies. On the other hand, companies like Tesla and Amazon appear to Generation Z by offering fast career advancement. These companies know that younger workers are ambitious, so they create programs that help them grow quickly within the organization. The key takeaway there is that companies that understand and meet Generation Z's expectation, whether it's through flexibility, culture, or growth, tend to retain their employees longer and keep them more motivated.
Thanks everyone. So when we compare this successful company with what happening at Green Energy, we can clearly see where the gaps are. Companies that provide competitive benefit, flexible work arrangement, and strong development programs tend to hold onto their Generation Z workforce. In contrast, organizations that continue to use outdated work models are seeing their younger staff leave more frequently. This shows how important it is for companies to modernize their work culture and policies if they want to stay relevant and competitive.
Looking at everything we discussed so far, we can say that Great Energy Limited needs to change. Right now, the company structure is too traditional. There's a there, there's very little flexibility, which doesn't meet the expectation of Generation Z employees. Career paths are unclear, and the company culture doesn't support diversity or open communication. There are also very few efforts to keep employees engaged or motivated. All of this leads to one thing, which are high turnover.
To improve the situations, we suggest that Grid Energy Limited start with flexible work policies. Introducing hybrid work models can give employees the freedom to work from home a few days a week. This improves work-life balance and shows that the company trusts its people. Adding wellness programs like mental health support or team building activities can also make a big difference. These steps show that the company cares about its employees' well-being, which helps build a more supportive and positive workplace.
Next, the company should create structured career development opportunities. Employees need to see a clear future at the company. This could be done by launching mentorship program, providing leadership training, and setting up regular career review meetings. This action helps employees feel like they're growing and that their hard work will be rewarded. If people know they can build a future at the company, they will more likely to stay long term.
And finally, the company should work to build a more inclusive and engaging workplace culture. Managers should promote open communication by asking for feedback and listening to employee concerns. Recognizing and celebrating employees' achievement, no matter how big or small, can also boost morale. Creating diversity initiatives and encouraging collaboration across teams can make everyone feel included and appreciated. This small but meaningful successful steps can lead to big change in employee satisfaction and retention. To wrap up, we want to emphasize one main point, which are retaining Generation Z employees means being willing to change. Today's young workers are not afraid to leave jobs that don't meet their needs. If companies want to keep them, they must offer flexibility, support growth, promote inclusion, and engage employees meaningfully. By doing so, they can create a workplace where Generation Z employees feel valuable, supported, and excited to stay and grow. Thank you all for tuning into our podcast. We hope this discussion gave you some useful insights into how company can improve retention and build stronger, more modern workplace. If you have any question, through or personal experience, we had love to hear from you. Feel free to leave a comment or reach out. Until next time, take care and stay inspired.